Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Newsround for Anfield Index. It is Monday, the 5th of May, Bank Holiday Monday for those of us in the UK. That extra day off just hits nice, doesn't it? And I'm hoping, like you, it's good like it is where I am. I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from, got to be honest, a pretty sunny, a pretty nice Edinburgh right now as it stands. Looks like it's going to warm up. Fingers crossed it is good wherever you are in the world. And we start where we always do on Newsround, people, asking, how are we? And to be honest, when you ask how are we after a defeat, and a 3-1 defeat at Stamford Bridge against them, some might be a bit down, but I don't think that's really the mood of the fan base at all this morning. I've got to be honest. How much do we actually care right now? But even when you look at that result on paper, I still gave a little cheer when Virgil headed it in from Macca's corner as well. And I just don't think when we ask how are we, there's anything in the world to massively worry about right now. At the end of the day, that on the screen, 15 points clear, champions for the 20th time with 3 games to play. It is a beautiful thing. The only real interest in the Premier League right now, not our fault, not our problem, is the Champions League race, isn't it? And which 2 are going to miss out? And it should really be 3 because it should be 4 spots, shouldn't it? But, I mean, it could even be 6, or it's likely to be 6, isn't it, with the Europa? But it's not our fault there's no jeopardy in the Premier League. What is funny is that Arsenal fans, I see even commented this much. Do you remember those Arsenal fans who said, we were nothing to worry about? Which technically, they weren't wrong, were they? Because, they're only 3 points ahead of Arsenal now. They're in the race for second place. So maybe they saw it a different way to us. But honestly, there's nothing to overanalyze. There is bits you can take, which we'll get into, but there's nothing to overanalyze here. The one thing that I enjoyed more than anything, and got quite a few mates that were in the travelling cop yesterday who said it was absolutely spectacular. For those that can see it on the screen, I mean, have a look at even Big Ibu yesterday celebrating, enjoying the atmosphere, maybe it's right. Now, yes, VVD talked about it should hurt and all that type of thing. And yes, you could see some players didn't look, because they're winners, they're elite players. Of course, that I'm not doubting that. But you could also see from the action at full time and the way certain players were, the mindset wasn't fully there for this game. And Red Armchair supporter, probably, quite a fair point. Some players didn't take the chance to impress, which we got discussed, but the overreaction online has been comical. Balance has always got to be right, hasn't it, this people? That, just to be clear, it's fair to analyse. It is fair to look at some players and think, did they take the chance? Did they not? Which we'll come on to. But you have to be careful a little bit of thinking, what were they playing against? What was the mindset? How checked in were they for yesterday? I'm not even convinced Arne Slot, when you saw his post-match reaction, which we'll talk about, was sort of massively hyper-bothered, let's call it. This was certainly no Nottingham Forest that will be giving him nightmares at night, isn't it? And this, I've got to be honest, a few messages, I mentioned some mates in the travelling cop, both of them actually said it was the best atmosphere, best away of the season by a mile. Federico Chiesa's played about 12 minutes this season or something like that, wildly, added up. But I don't have a player that's played such a short period, has such a cult following, and also has such a banger of a song Listen to this if you've not heard it, because if he gets on against Arsenal on Sunday, I suspect you're going to. Brilliant, eh? I think, did he get on for like 8 minutes or so at the end, wasn't it? Kind of half paying attention to the game a little bit. But yeah, absolute banger that was. If he comes on, it'll be getting Sug at Anfield on Sunday. But yeah, when we talk about how are we, as a couple of those examples go, we have to be careful not to over analyze and look too much into this, I think. Arne Slot was kind of clear, succinct in his comments as well. So let's have a quick listen to what he said post-match.
Yeah, so I only heard our fans during almost the whole game, and I just heard that they couldn't come here with train, so they had to go by car. But they were in time, and they were loud throughout the whole game. So I haven't heard anyone booing. I've only heard our fans singing.
Love that, don't you? Wasn't acknowledging any Chelsea boos. He was more talking about our fans and the noise that we made. And he was quite honest as well in his post-match, talking about a little bit short defensively, and just we arrived quite a few times in that final third, as he put it. And when we do that, you'd normally expect us to create or score more, but we were just missing that little bit. And I tell you what probably caused them to miss that little bit. Jack Daniels, Belvedere, Grey Goose, Dom Perignon. That has been probably the big four causes of why we just quite weren't on it for this week, in all honesty, hasn't it? So you've got to give them a bit of wiggle room. At the same time, though, it is fair that you can analyse a bit. You can't just dismiss it completely. I never buy into that. Like, it's not pre-season, although I see some saying this is like pre-season 25-26 start, which I like at the same time. But Arne Slot has talked about players getting opportunities, and you think who came into the lineup that's maybe not always there yesterday, like Kwanzaa, like Simicast, Elliott, Endo. Curtis Jones feels like he's dropped out a little bit to that squad player, so he got the chance as well. Jota, it's fair to say, isn't first choice. So there's a lot of players got an opportunity yesterday. And we'll probably do it more when we do Daily Red and with Media Matters later on about a full analysis. This isn't the time for that at 9:20 in the morning. But stay or go. The Clash that sung that one, I'm trying to think now, isn't it? Yeah. There's a few I'm not sure grasped the opportunities. A few said we can't overreact to it. But who really yesterday put the hand up and said, yeah, I want to still be part of this? There should be a lot of players, I thought, more driven, could have had a bigger impact. And I get it's all fair to say when you change 5 or 6 players out, you can't expect a team to be fluid. Absolutely correct. But who really took the opportunity? This man on the screen. Look at that for a tweet. Wataru Endo won the most tackles while he was on the pitch against Chelsea today. He won 4 out of 5 duels and completed 93% of his passes. Best midfielder on the pitch. And as Red Armchair supporters there, yeah, good stats as are on the screen there. I thought Endo was really good while he was on the pitch. I did. I really did. I thought he passed it well, better than maybe I think people expect him to. And he has almost this reputation, doesn't he, of a bit of a clogger, shall we say, a bit of a yard dog maybe. That the gum shield goes in and he's there to kick people. And maybe there's an element of truth in that. You know, he's brought on to shut down the game, isn't he? Quite often. And I just thought yesterday that when the other two around him were really struggling, he was shining. I think you've got to give him that. And maybe if he'd had better players or the more regulars around him. Maybe we should analyse that instead of maybe forgiving some of the others, it seems to me, a little bit. And you don't want to hyper-analyse, but if Endo was still here next season and was happy to play, I don't know, 1,000 minutes or so, be almost like relief for Grav. I'm not sure he is, by the way, by any means. But if he was, I'm not against that. I'm really not against that at all. Fewer comments flying in. Mr. Wah, Endo is consistent as excellent footballer, not just a destroyer. I think that's fair. You showed it some nice passes. There was one where he almost put it through Lavia's legs at one point, didn't he? Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, age and what he's looking for. I don't want to sort of hyper-analyse all this too much at the moment. But in terms of stay or go question, I hope Endo's just put that little question mark even more in Arne Slot's mind. Ultimately, you do feel it will be his decision. So we'll see what happens. AI content-wise, we got you covered from yesterday. So we've got the match reaction. Even today, we've got Daily Red at 11:15. We've got 1 o'clock Media Matters. The Up Boys are on over the next week. All your normal shows. So a full week of standard material all the way through. It might just be a little bit of a 3-week holding pattern now. What I mean by that is the league is won. Of course it is. So it is party time. And maybe you'll see that still in a few lineups. I don't know, though. This one next Sunday, us against Arsenal. They'll have been knocked out by PSG, won't they? In the semi-final second leg. I want to win that one. I really want to win that one. And I know I just hope the players feel the same, because all the stuff Arsenal fans that have come up with this season about the injury, but etc. We all know that. Do you not want to win this one really bad like me? That's just the feeling. This is not a Chelsea away carnival atmosphere. This is Anfield at home. Mikel Arteta speakers Anfield at home against second place. We can increase the gap to 18 points. And it'd just be brilliant just to absolutely destroy them, wouldn't it? Rub their noses in the dirt, especially when they're going to be knocked out the Champions League as well. So I do just wonder what the mood will be like this coming week. And the other thing, because we're in this 3-week holding pattern, of course, transfer rumours are going to come out. I've seen people saying oh, God, there's still the season's pretty much over, isn't it, bar this 3-week holding pattern. Of course, transfer rumours are going to accelerate. And by the way, Arne Slot and Liverpool aren't doing anything to play this down. He's talking about how, we're speaking to players, we understand we're in competition, but we're playing them the scenes, or that we're getting into them that way. And by the way, the transfer window opens, transfer window 1, in less than a month, doesn't it? Yeah, 1st of June, transfer window 1 opens for the Club World Cup reps. So, and for the rest of the Premier League, more importantly, it opens for us to get some deals maybe done early. Red Armchair Supporter asked a fair question. Would you go full strength against Arsenal or give more fringe players a go? For me, this is just personal. I think he will play fringe players at a few, if you ask me honestly. But I'd want to see first strength. I want to see Arsenal ground into the dirt. I want to see that gap opened to 18 points. Then, for the last 2, yeah, fuck it. Stick Endo up front and Nunez right back, especially with them headers. Maybe that's where he's best positioned, who knows? But yeah, that is how I would like to see it. So when we talk about it this coming week, people, you can analyse, and it's right to have a few questions about, what's happening with these squad players. Maybe should Arne Slot trust them or not? But let's not overanalyze it. The travelling cop certainly didn't yesterday. They had a brilliant time, didn't they? So with that in mind, it is important, I think, that we all enjoy the week still and soak it in. But as we enjoy the week, 6 days' time, Arsenal at home. Tell me you don't want to really win that badly still. Yeah, I thought so. But there we go, ladies and gents. Monday, the 5th of May. That was another news round for Anfield Index.